All right, so I wanted to talk about another things your critics always say, because they see that you are a huge supporter of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's coming into office, and they talk about these blueprints that Lagos State, blueprints, they do from Fashola, from this person, they went this. I said, where is this blueprint, Morayo? Have you your own eyes seen the blueprint? He said, does it must be a document, or it's not just an ideal, an ideology that's being passed from people, but could you tell us, why do people give Asiwaju credit for a lot of things we see in Lagos? Is there a real connection?
Okay.
Oh, they said Lagos already existed before he was governor. So why is he being given credit for building Lagos?
Thank you very much. And you see, these are, instructive learning point that we need to put forward. So I joined him with all sense of humility 20 years ago. I was a general manager in my bank with a corner office. November 2002, precisely, so about 20 years ago. And we had criticized government 3-4 years, 2-3 years before then. And I had that real opportunity. I appointed a special. So from very first day, I was in his cabinet when I joined in 2002. And I saw things firsthand, for me, even before the end of his first tenure. So I'm a living witness. And it's not anything that we're blabbing about. It's something that we know. So what happened at that time, right? We set up documents called the seed document, so which are Lagos State Economic Development document. We also have what we call a 10-point agenda, right? It's like what I call a team's agenda now. 10-point agenda had, revenue generation, transportation, public this, public that. All of that were encapsulated in the last seeds and in the seed document, which are economic documents. Right? We set up and started the Mbeti document and becomes a working paper that you can live with moving forward, right? So in that is only 8 years as government, as governor. I worked with him closely for at least 5 years. 1 year before the end of his first tenure and the entire 4 years of his second tenure. So I was commissioner for economic planning. So I was part of all of those documents that were developed. Lamata, for example, that we talked about, it's not out of place. We had that robust. He set up Lamata with the World Bank. In 2002, I was one of the people that first recruited the first set of people that worked in Lamata. It was a World Bank, one of the best World Bank, transport infrastructure, agencies that anybody can see in the world. So those are, and it was the beginning of democracy, 1999. Coming from a military rule where it's not a government of inclusiveness. Now starting up in 1999 with a government that include the citizens, listen to them, have an engagement, more like an all-inclusive role. Right. So that was how that blueprint was developed. And they had like a 20-year development plan, which, of course, BRF also improved upon, took away some, add on to it. Ambode, similar thing. Ourselves, that's really what it means. Right. And because there's also been continuity in all of these things, we were able to see what the challenges of the previous government is, what are the things you need to take on and use very quickly, and have, a springboard movement into your own government. So that's one of the things that have helped us. And so we give him that credit because he was the one that was able to bake the first, retinue of very intelligent, people that
Let me take this call. Yakub, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Our first caller of the year.
Good
morning.
Yeah, thanks to you. Because of the time. Good morning, Mr. God. Because Lagos is working fully. Because I can say that in my area here, as I'm talking to you, a lot of street is under construction and like almost 10 at a time. I've never seen that before, but I want to have a controversial question, and then I wouldn't like Mr. Governor to bend that answer. You should go straight to that answer and give it to us so that you know. The question is this, sir. If you are moving in Lagos State as a commercial board, you will see all these, are you listening to me?
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much. This NURCW, we want to know all this money they were collected from the commercial board because it takes a lot of money. Where this money is going to, where are they remitting the money to? Are they remitting this money to Lagos State Government Board or they are paying the money to National Board? We want to know because they collect a lot of money without not using it for anything.
Okay, that's a fair question. Let me let you answer.
Well, I mean, so you're right. There are issues that we need to resolve, with, the transportation sector. And you see, we've started. At some point, we actually prescribed them. right? And that's why we set up, you know, the parking authority so that indeed we can sit with them and we're beginning to get a lot more mileage than what it was 6-8 months ago, right? We're not fully out of it yet because it's a system that has been in existence for decades. So you're not going to one day just sleep and wake up and it's all changing. They sit with us now, and Odumosu, who was a former, you know, CP, right, heads that parking authority, right, with the former permanent secretary in Ministry of Tourism, you know. And so these are very seasoned civil servants that are sitting with them and ensuring that these are the rules of engagement in which you need to get cleared up. And they will tell us, okay, give us 1 week, give us 1 month for us to change all of these things. So these are citizens that we also need to understand that they are stakeholders in some sort, right? But we need to be able to bring bear, right, some level of, you know, organization in the things that they do. And we're getting around it, and it's getting improved. Okay. You know, part of the things that we see is also the level of recklessness that also happens with their national body. A lot of the money are actually shipped to Abuja at their national body, which is honestly, which is the truth.
And the money is staying home.
And we're saying to them, what are you also using these interventions for? How are you retraining your drivers, your conductors, for them to be best behaved, right? How are you going to refleet your vehicles? Exactly. Ensure that these vehicles are not rickety, they're not run down, they're not tearing people's. You don't go on a bus and you come out, you know, with one leg, you know, cut off and rest of. So these are the conversations, and we're helping them.
I think the same drivers.
You need to include them in something. So there are other transport companies that are private transport companies, right, that are actually the ones, you know, running this.
Okay, let me take Yakub, or no, not Yakub, Miss Hassan from Lekki. Hassan, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
New Year.
To the executive members and the executive governor of Lagos.
Yes, sir.
Let me congratulate you first, Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
Thank you.
For taking the bull by the horn, by fighting 2 major wars in the grand state, EndSARS and COVID. Congratulations for your performance.
Thank you.
Secondly, Mr. Governor, we saw the infrastructure that is going on in Lagos State. Under your leadership, your predecessor, and the first predecessor, Mr. Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, your mentor, the mentor of Nigeria, a progressive governor, a leader, a father, and a communicator.
Hassan, do you have a question? You don't have time more.
Question is here is this. Mr. Governor, please, you have some other small things to do for us.
Yeah.
You think it's in our road, in Lekki area, need to be looked into.
Okay.
Come to Money Road, come to all these settlement areas, pressing from Abuja.
Okay.
So I have.
Okay, so we got the point. So I go beyond the inner roads. Yes. What does Lekki across the state?
No,
what are we doing?
Inner roads generally.
Yeah.
So as we speak, we're working with the local government first. We're doing 114 inner roads. With the 57 local, we said to them, let's take 2, right? And let's help you jointly to fix them. That's one. The Public Works Bureau, because Lagos has over 10,000, you know, roads in one form or the other. You know, the Public Works Bureau at any point in time have about 200 roads that they are trying to fix or you know, patch. The Lekki, the challenge there is also the level of use, you know, and the amount of, you know, development that is happening there. And so one of the things that we plead with people, when you fix those roads and there's another construction coming, you know, by the time they bring all of the trucks and the rest of it, and they are piling, you know, granites and all of the things onto the drainages, it gets blocked. These are some of the challenges that we have to be able to do because they are not completely built up yet. So each time when you go back there, you see, I mean, they are corporate, you know. So you see that they will have tilted, you know, all of their gravel and sand, block the drainage, and you have to come and excavate and clean them up again. Those are some of it, and they you know, they destroy some of the drainage.
We have to. We're running out of time. Let me let Mariam jump in. Let Mariam jump.
Projects and what you do for many, you know, top personalities. I remember when you first came in, when you said that you prefer to be referred to as Mr. Governor. Yes. And also many times people will talk about the fact that you're being controlled by someone, or, you know, and here we are talking to you. And if you see the messages also on social media, you know, the response is, this is a man who's on ground, who knows what he's doing. So I would like to know what motivates you why do you do what you do, and why do you do it so well? Is it because you have to answer to someone, or what is it that motivates you personally to do the work you're doing in Lagos State?
You know, it's a position of humility. It's a position in which you need to be grateful to God, right? Given my very humble background, right? When you have the unique, rare opportunity to serve over 20 million, rising sign of modern Africa, I think you wake up every day thankful to God with the opportunity, asking God to give you every energy that you require to be able to serve them, right? And so for me, it's really around understanding what the social contract with my citizens are. Let me tell you, today we have 147 days to the end of our first tenure. I've done almost 90% of my time. I count it every day. Every day I review and I ask myself, how well have I done? So for me, it's a measurement that I give myself every day. Out of 1,460 days, we've done about 1,300 and something. We've got about 147, 147. Yes. So with that level of measurement, I'm not waiting, to the end of it to say, what did I do? So I understand that you have a responsibility to your citizens, a will, a commitment to put on the table. I'll give you a simple example. There's some telephones that I see in the morning, I get scared to pick. Why? Because the guys on the other side are not calling to tell me good morning. They're telling to tell me that a container just fell off. They're coming to tell me that there's a fire incident. And I need to get up, I need to give instructions, I need to encourage them, I need to give them a clear instruction of how we need to clear and deal with that issue. And these are some of the things that continue to keep you going. Let
me get a few comments from
Tony. Millie is talking about the Lagos-Abeokuta road. So they say I'm selfish for focusing on my side.
Yes.
They want to know why the road from Meron to Ahmadiyya inwards Abeokuta is not finished. Said it's in a bad state. Said that there's also an abandoned pedestrian bridge at Kola bus stop in Alagbado. What are you...
Okay, well, it's very specific. I probably won't know where Kola bus stop is in Alagbado. But I'll tell you, 2 weeks ago, we still went to commission, 2 critical roads in Alimosho to the border of the state. The Ishegun Camp David Road. No, this is a 7.8-kilometer road. Major artery, dual carriageway. Ishuti Road, 3.7 kilometer, dual carriageway, up onto the border of Ogun State. These are major inner roads. And I was still there 2 weeks ago, right? In the first 2 years, we commissioned 31 roads at Ojokoro, which is also a border town.
Those are,
with
Lagos-Abeokuta Road is a straight.
So Lagos-Abeokuta
Road is along that.
Exactly. Lagos is a federal road. This is a road in which the Honourable Minister for Works. Believe me, and I believe that there is part of the things that
let me take this call because I have very little time left. Mr. Adeyemi from Ijushaga really wants to talk to you. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
So many people.
Hello, good morning.
You're live. You go ahead, Adeyemi.
Yes, I want to thank Mr. Governor for all that he's doing. I follow him closely on Instagram, and I see all the updates of all the projects. It keeps updating us about things, the projects done in Lagos State, the milestones and everything. I am really proud of Governor Sanwo-Olu. Thank you so much for all you do. And secondly, too, because in areas like Epe are opening up, the roads are being built, it has given us middle and low-income earners the ability to invest in real estate. Thank you so much, Mr. Governor.
Some messages. Omolajo Olatunji says, I'm highly impressed by Mr. Governor's articulate responses to questions and policy issues. He's far more composed and has a firm grip of everything happening around him. Truly, I'm happy and would campaign for his re-election. Well done, sir.
You see, you can't come on your view and I don't ask you about family because that's what our show is about. Yes, we do politics, governance, but I have to ask about your wife. I mean, I've had an opportunity to speak to her. She's been quiet, reserved. She hardly speaks. Like first ladies. I'm in charge. She's hardworking. She's a professional. She dots her I's and cross her T's. I mean, you can't take anything past her. Say she'll bring your file. She will look at it. But tell us about your wife. We don't.
Thank you. Well, that's one part that it's always been very well. We're in public, so we cannot be public, right? I mean, I'm grateful to her. Right, she's a woman that has sort of like complemented the role that God has given us now, very, very, with all sort of dignity, right? Like you said, she's a medical doctor herself. She loves kids a lot. I wish she would have 7 kids. I mean, you know.
How many do you have?
You know, I'm a father of the state. I have children that call me their dad. So if I go all and say there's only 3 or 4,
get in trouble.
I'll get in trouble with them, you know. So let all of them feel that I'm still their dad, even outside of government, you know. So, but you know, for her, it's really about putting everything she has also learned as a lady, you know, to put it to work, right? And I see the complementary role that she brings on board. She gives you your space to work, but she, like you said, she's very detailed. She's extremely very detailed, and she's someone that you need to take very seriously. You know, she's not the person with a lot of, you know, airs around, and I think it just speaks to, you know, the humbleness, you know, of what our family values are. And we're indeed just very, very grateful, you know, for a time like this that we're here to serve the state, right? So I want to thank her, you know, publicly for the support. You know, for our time, and I wish her all the very, very best as well.
Right. Okay, so we have to go ahead, talk. I have to wrap up, but I have 2 questions for you.
Which is go ahead, talk.
Go ahead, talk. Let me let you do. Because I thought you didn't have a question.
I do. And I'd like you to address, because we've had, Maria said we have some people saying things, and it would be wrong for us not to be able to let you clear air on that. There are several times people have made it look like you're implementing these decisions, that you're not the one making those decisions. They make it look like, oh, because you have this very calm man and you're always listening. Yes, that somebody is instructing you, you're doing what they want, that Asiwaju is running Lagos. You know, we've heard that over and over
So I
again.
can answer very simply, you know. One of the strongest points of a leader, right, is people to underrate you. It's people to think. Right? I mean, that's, and you don't have to be in people's face to get it done. All you have to do is roll off your sleeves and get the job done. And check it. Integrity is what I live with. As a treasurer in a bank, my word is my bond. I give commitments and I keep to those commitments. I say I'll finish something in December. I will do everything to ensure that I finish it in December. You know, by the way, Asiwaju has moved on to Abuja for the past 6 years. For the past 6 years. He lived 85% of his time in Abuja. I've not spoken to him in a week. In a week. It's a father, is a man that I respect personally, and I cannot take it away. So, you know, so people will look for things, but are we keeping our eyes on the ball? Yes. Are we doing the things Lagosians want us to do? Yes.
So do you have such a relationship with BRF?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I still spoke with him 3-4 days ago. He's my leader, he's my boss. He's a Surulere boy like myself. We knew ourselves way back.
What are just chances? Lagos State, some would say, is somewhat fragmented. Right? There are people from different places who are believe in certain parties and other parties. People would think, in the past, we say, oh, it's an APC state, but now people cannot confidently say, are you sure Lagos State is still an APC state?
No, we are confident. It's an APC state.
Okay.
And you can see the APC government doing everything to ensure that we get it. It's absolutely very bright, extremely very bright. But we'll not leave everything to chance. We will continue to engage people. We will not say that, you know, we're about one side of divide. It's inclusive to ensure that he gives in his very best, right, to every Nigerian that is possible for him to reach out.
I'm so sorry. We'll get to the question about potable water over and over again.
So water is a challenge, and I'll be here to be honest with you. It's true. It's a challenge, and it's because we need to go raise funding that is required to fix it, and it's a lot of money. We're talking about 100 billion, 150 billion. So what are we doing? We have a major water work, you know, in Iju and Adion, right? We're building from what we have now, currently 70 million gallons per day, which is running at less than 50%. Because these are built in 1970s, 1974, 75. But we are currently building a 50 million gallon additional infrastructure that is slowing us down. So once we can do the real big ones, is to do, you know, what we call the transmission, you know, which we need to be the next level of funding that we need to have. You know, it's like power. Once you do generation of water, you need to be able to transmit it, you know, which has to get to all of the nooks and crannies of it. So we're just going to be able to raise crazy finance. But I want to appeal to my citizens and say to them that, you know, relief for water is coming. You know, water people see it as part of the social service. It's gone beyond that. You know, the funding of water is some very creative means, and it's not cheap. It's all
going to be running the second term.
Well,
is it next month?
It's next month, by January.
No, mine is March.
Oh, yours is March.
But I'm involved in February.
Yeah, involved in February. So the point is,
yes.
I'd like you to final word to Lagosians. Why should they vote you in?
Well,
again, why do you think you are the leader for Lagos?
Well, thank you very much, ladies, and thank you very much for having me. You know, so it's really not about me alone. It's about all of us. It's about what we believe, what our future should look like. It's about what kind of legacy should we be leaving, behind. And I want to say that in the last, 3 years and about 7 months, it's been a unique opportunity experience for me. Like I said, I've done about 89% of my time, right? But the beauty of it is that we've kept faith with all of the things, that we said we're going to do under the team's agenda. We didn't have time to talk about tourism, about security, about housing, where we've done over 17 projects, about all of the routes that we've done. We will not say that we've scored everything, but we will say to you that with all sense of responsibility, we've earned our bill. We've dealt with, year on year, we keep making 85% of our budget performance. We've doubled our budget size in 3 years, even in a COVID rundown environment. We're doing roads in almost every part of the city concurrently.
Yes.
Concurrently, we're building these things, concurrently, and so we have so much energy to still give on. And so what we're asking for is, you see, don't let there be distractions. Yes, it's politics. Yeah. So people will say that, is this, is that, he collects this and all of that. And people will show you pictures that are 10, 15 years old. It's all politics. But I want to say to all of them, let's join hands. See a train that is moving. Join the train. And because we have an opportunity to do this quicker, better, and faster for another 4 years.
They said 2 hours won't cut it.
Oh, absolutely. So we hope to bring it because it took 3.5 years to bring it.
Oh, my God.
But I will see if hopefully when we'll try to bring it back again very soon, hopefully to get more from. But thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you on our show today. That's all we can take on today's show. We'll be speaking with the governor, one of our favorite governors. Yeah, number 1, and I think it is number 2. But yes, from my own list. But it was fantastic having our governor on the show today. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for a fantastic day.